So we're concluding 2007 with the last of my art. What you just saw there was promotional art for my book. This is a black and white. Here's my art again. All this stuff I did. There's Rudy Hesper. This is what Rudy Hesper looks like, the neo-Nazi war criminal. This is Marcus Navarre for the Panthers, Black Panthers. And there is Laura Schaefer for the Pink Society, Feminazi, no cheapskates. Chris Kringle Clarity, the junior Klansman. And we got Rosemarie, and there's her sister Violet, her half-sister. She's all, developed, and Rosemary is not. But I think Violet's about 10 years older than Rosemarie. So Violet would be 30-something years old, and Rosemarie would be in her 20s. And you got some more art that I already showed you. And here's another one of Rosemarie. Different style. Drake again. Me again. I'm just trying to go through these really quick. Yeah, I showed you some of this stuff, the real prints, and this is the computer imagery. I realized after 2007, after trying to write The Outcaster's Drake and The Outcaster's Rye, that I wanted to approach stories differently. I just didn't feel that it was good enough. I needed more. I needed to make it relevant to me and to the people I would be pitching this to. What is it that I really want to tell? What story do I really want to tell? Why is it so important to write a book? Why is it so important to do the art? Any idiot savant can draw a picture. Any idiot savant can write a good story. Now, this is a new style that I put up, a new style that I decided to play around with. And there is the Mexican Avenger, Francisco and his cat Valiant. And there's Missy in full color. Here's Jerry in full color. I needed to do more. I needed to do more research. Here is Rye and his friends. This is Rye's origin, playing baseball. These are Rye's parents, Mai and Hikaru. And these are his captors. His boss shoots Rye's dad and collects life insurance policy for his ex-wife, Hikaru's ex-wife. Hikaru's first wife marries his boss. And so his second wife, he and his second wife have Rye. And so there's this whole family entanglement. Rye gets caught in the middle, and he ends up killing his captors with electrical wiring and tases them to death and runs off to America. I needed to get organized about my characters. I knew who these characters were. I published one book. I only sold like 4 or 5 of them, But I wasn't satisfied. I wasn't satisfied with what I was doing. I wanted more. I wanted something with depth. I would come up with a new art style, something like looking at Wind Waker, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, looking at Canadian art like Spliced. There was a cartoon called Spliced made in Canada. So I decided to redraw my characters again. I wasn't satisfied with how I was doing things. I mean, yes, the art is in more detail, but what was I really doing? What was the point of what I was doing? So I had to ask questions, reevaluate, just put these things in a better perspective, tell the story much better. So I wouldn't do that again until 2011. So for the next 3 weeks or so, I'm just going to go over new art. I'm going to go over new styles. And while I've been showing you this art every week, I haven't been jerking off. I've been putting together new art for the Great Places trilogy. That would essentially be Grim Planet, the Evil Story, Grey Patriarchy, a post-apocalypse story, and Green Pueblo, which is a life story about building life and happiness and struggling with, building a world. This is Francisco again, and the cat is Talking Cat Valiant. And so I right now I'm just like, I'm trying to build art for it, maybe compose some music. I'm doing everything but shooting a movie based on my stuff. Shooting a movie takes animation, or it takes actors to put things together. And you have to work within the limitations of the places you can go to and who is willing to spend the time working with you. And they essentially would have to work for free. They just can't work for pay. They have to work for the attention. And I don't have a professional set. I just don't do that. Uh, I could always go back to school and get equipment, but who would want to do all this stuff? It's a lot more work, and it's not so much more work that I'm willing to do. I mean, if I do all this work and nobody really cares to notice it, then where does it go? But I think at the same time, I have no regrets about doing this and posting it up on YouTube. I don't really regret showing all of you this, because whether I have a crew of people to tell a story or not, whether I can tell the story right or not, even if I did it for class, I have to do my movie a certain way for my teachers, and it costs money to go back into 4-year college to do that kind of stuff. So this is the best I can show you, between not being able to do animation and not being able to do live action, not doing a movie, but doing books and music and art all by myself, to show you what it is I'm trying to do. I can always give you ideas as to what characters. I mean, you think of Emmy Colligado and Esther Koo, you might have Rosemarie, for example. Energy, light, being for the character of Sparks. Drake is based on me. So you got all these different characters, and I always try to base it on people I've actually met and people I've actually seen, and not based on actors and ideal looking actors and ideal faces and ideal bodies and ideal voices. It's like with actors, we want them to be like the characters we see on TV. We want Andy Griffith to be Andy Taylor. But actors have extraordinary lives, extraordinary personalities. They're in Hollywood all the time. They're going to be and act a certain way. So when I use these characters that you're seeing here, they're based on people I've met and seen in one form or another, or people I'm fascinated by, people who are intimidating, people who leave a lasting impression. This is like my cousin Gabriel that you see right now. This is based on a kid I met in college. And my next art is going to show you, it's a combination of Sharpie and crayon and pencil, and it's going to show you a photorealistic perspective of a person and the character they're based on, and a quote. And you'll see all that next week. I think it'll be a much shorter week, 2 days, and we'll see how that goes. Remember, be kind, be cruel, but be you foremost. Till next week.